What's good, beautiful people? So in this video, I want to talk about how it's dangerous to stay with a narcissist once you've been discarded, right? You know, sometimes they discard you while living with you, under the same roof, sharing the same space, and how very dangerous it is to hang around once you figure out what narcissism is. And I say this because this is from experience. This is from being around somebody who's narcissistic, living in the same space, sharing the same area with them. This is very, very dangerous. And I don't want this to come off as fear mongering. I don't want to scare anybody because I know a lot of people are still living in the house with the narcissist, still sharing a space with the narcissist. Your parents may be narcissists, your children, you could be living with these people. But it is very, very dangerous to share a space with narcissists once you've realized who they are, and once they know you know who they are. It can get very sticky. Narcissists do some of the weirdest things when you're living with them, when you're sharing a space with them, once you figure them out, and they know you figured them out. Once you know, you go. You don't hang around. Once you find out, once you realize what this is, once you figure out that this person is a narcissist, you move on. You go. And you can't get away as soon as possible, as quick as you may need to, but it is very, very important to get away from these people. I learned this from experience, from being discarded and not even knowing that I was discarded. But the thing is, I didn't care about being discarded while living with this person. See, at the time, I had no idea what narcissism was. I didn't have a PhD in narcissism as I do now. I didn't realize something like this even existed, as most people don't. But when you continue to live with these people after finding out the weird things that you see them do, the things that they actually do in front of you are some of the weirdest things. It's crazy making. The gaslighting, they're always lying to you. You can't figure out why this person behaves this way. You begin to look these things up in Google and read and everything else you can possibly do to figure it out. Once you figure out what this is, you have to get away from them because they know that you know that there is something off about them. The mask will begin to slip and they'll begin to do some of the evilest things to you right in your face. And one thing in particular I want to talk about is paying attention to what you eat and drink around them. They will poison you. They will poison you and you will not know. And they slowly poison you. Not only are they poisoning your mind with the gaslighting and the mental abuse, they will also poison your food and your drinks. And they do this over time. It took me to actually get sick to realize I was being poisoned. I had no idea. Now, is this crazy or not? You discarding me. I'm deciding that's fine by me. I had saw enough toxic stuff go on, like right under my nose, right in my face, to where I was ready to get away. But I couldn't move right away. I had to make plans and preparations to get away from this person, right? So it wasn't that easy for me to just up and get away from this person. I had moved cities away from my hometown, which was a far distance. So I couldn't just pick up at the time and just go. So over time, I was making plans and preparations to get away from this individual. And they were poisoning my food, and I had no idea this was even happening. Poisoning my drinks. I was getting sick. I couldn't tell why I was getting sick. Didn't know what was going on. But the whole entire time, they knew what was going on. They knew exactly what was happening to me, but I had no idea. Not only were they poisoning me, but they were moving things around the house, and I would look for things that I know where I put it, but it wasn't there when I went back for it. It would be gone. It was the crazy making, trying to make me believe I was crazy, trying to make me believe that things that was going on really wasn't going on. The gaslighting was so bad, but I never lost a hold of myself. I always knew what I did and how I did it, and I kept a hold of me in order to be able to pay attention of what was going on. One of my pets was killed. Have no idea what happened, but the narcissist was around when it happened, but I still don't know what happened. They do some of the weirdest things if you continue to stay in a relationship with these people or stick around after you've been discarded. And the thing that was so bad about the discard was I stuck around living in the house with this individual, not even realizing that I was discarded. But I saw enough toxicity to not even want to be bothered with this individual. So living in the same house with them, I separated myself from this person, not knowing that they were upset that I didn't care. I wasn't that educated on narcissism then. I didn't know the things that I actually know now. So I wasn't that educated on what was actually going on. So I ignored their behavior. I just turned off the light, ignored their behavior, put it to where they couldn't affect me by what they were doing. I just called them crazy. But once the moment I started to make preparations to get away from this individual and pay attention to like what I was dealing with and what was going on, this is when they got angry. And this is how they started poisoning my food and drinks. I'm cooking for myself. I'm making sure I'm fixing my own stuff. But when I would turn my back, they were doing things to my food and my drinks. I had no idea this was even happening. And when I started educating myself and figuring out, okay, this is what's going on. This individual is actually doing stuff to my food and my drinks, and they're moving things around that I put down. They're breaking my belongings. They're trying to hurt my animal. This was before my animal actually died, right? The abuse was so bad where I was so busy making preparations to get away under this person's nose, I didn't even know that they were still doing things right under me. When you realize that you're staying with somebody who's narcissistic or they have full-blown narcissism and they're high on the spectrum, you got to get away from them. You can't hang around. You do what you need to do. Some people don't have a place to go right away, as I didn't. I couldn't pick up and just leave. But you have to make preparations right away. You cannot hang around these individuals. Make it make sense. How crazy is this? You're discarding me and I'm okay with it and you're mad. So you want to harm me. So this is when I found that I was labeled as being grade A supply. Because you don't want me to go because you haven't put the next person in my spot. You haven't upgraded your secondary supply. You haven't, the person that you have found to put in the place of me, to replace me, you haven't decided that they're good enough to take my spot. So therefore you want me to stay while you groom this individual, but you want to hurt me in the process because I'm okay with leaving. Make it make sense. It doesn't. It doesn't make any sense at all. But these are the things that they will do to get you to stick around, to stay, to put up with whatever they have going on until they replace you. Because the moment you figure out that this person is a narcissist, this person is making me crazy, this person is doing this person is doing that, and I know what I'm doing, but I know that they're doing these things, and I'm not crazy. When you realize you're not crazy, and this is actually happening to you, they will up the antics. Their strategies get worse. They start doing very, very, very evil things, breaking your belongings, hurting your pets, poisoning your food and drinks, wrecking your cars, things that they can do to stop you from getting away from them. But this person was hell-bent on unaliving me to stop me from leaving. Now, mind you, you don't want me, but you don't want me to leave. You can't make this stuff up. You guys, when you realize you're dealing with somebody who's like this, somebody who behaves in this manner, somebody who is showing you that the things that they're doing to you is hurting you and eventually is going to become detrimental to your health, you got to get out of there. You have to get out of there. You have to. It doesn't matter what you have to do or where you have to go. You have to get out of there. You cannot. Another thing. Whispering things in your ear when you're getting ready to fall asleep or after you fall asleep. When they realize that you're sleeping, it is very, very dangerous to fall asleep around these individuals. Once you know. Once they know you know, they do things like this. The spirits that push these people are very, very strong, have a very, very strong hold over them. And this person will be whispering things in my ear while I'm sleeping. I actually woke up one night and actually caught this. I caught this. And I said, that's it. That's it. This is it. And when I would mention, I'm like, were you whispering things in my ear last night while I was sleeping? This person looked at me with the evilest smirk on their face and said, why did you hear what I said? It was the weirdest thing. There's no shame in their game when they're doing things like this. And this is when I figured out, okay, you don't want me to leave, but you don't want me. Make that make sense to me. And I hear a lot of videos where people say you don't tell them that they're a narcissist. It doesn't make sense to tell them. It doesn't. It does not make sense to tell them that you know that they're a narcissist. That will not get you any further than you were when you first started out. They get worse. And Y'all, it's evil. It's really, really evil. It's really evil. And when you stay in the way and you don't leave, and they know that you know, they will do everything they can to keep you from getting away, to exploit them, to tell people about this, to talk about what you went through with them. This is why they isolate you so much. They don't want family or friends around or anybody who can differentiate between you and what you're dealing with. They don't want anybody to know that this is what's going on. These people will go to any lengths to stop you from telling anybody what you've been through with them, what you've experienced with them. When you know, you go. When you're dealing with the narcissist and you figure this out, once you know, you go. Sticking around is detrimental. They will harm you. If they're high up on the spectrum and they're used to getting away with things like this, and they are hell-bent on keeping this hidden from other people, or you exploiting them, or you telling people what you've been through, or what's going on, or who they really, really are, when that mask falls off, it doesn't slip, it falls off. And when it falls off and you see what I saw, this is what they'll do whatever they have to stop you from talking. And that's exactly what I was going through. This person was hell-bent on unaliving me completely. And it is one of the worst things you could actually go through. Because you have to realize, when you're falling asleep and somebody's whispering in your ear, that goes into your subconscious mind. And if you don't catch this, they're brainwashing you while you're sleeping. This is very, very dangerous. These individuals are dangerous. And when you figure this stuff out, you have to get away from them. But there's so much more I want to talk about with these narcissists, and how dangerous it is to stick around, the things that happens, and things that happen whenever you're living with them, and the things that they will do to you. And when you hang around, how they literally will go beyond to end your life to stop you from talking. But thanks, guys, for listening. Take the time out to like, comment, subscribe. And until next time, guys.